Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and Happy New Year. Happy 2018. So the word of the day is balance. And I choose this word because over the years I've been working with tarot cards. And one of the things that I learned fairly early on in my tarot journey was that you can always think in terms of the numerology of the cards to correlate with the year. And the way that this works is that you take the numerals in a particular year and you add them up and distill it down to the first number that would be within the 1 through 22 of the major arcana cards. Or actually 1 through 23, with 23 being the magician. I'm not the magician, the fool. But anyway, so over the years, every year I sort of think for a moment, okay, what kind of year are we going to be having? And so, for example, last year, which was 2 plus 1 plus 7, which makes for a 10, was a Wheel of Fortune year. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a card about possibility. There's an incredible amount of opportunity. There's a lot of luck. There's a lot of other stuff too. And so whether the wheel goes in your favor or goes against you, it's kind of the Wheel of Fortune. You know, it can go either way. But one of the things about this card is that it tends to be a card that is intense. And it tends to be a card that takes a certain amount of staying on top of your game, because if you're on the outside of the wheel and you're sort of at that top, kind of like a hamster wheel, kind of trying to stay up there, it takes a certain amount of exertion. And it's not hard to lose your grip or to slip or to fall off the wagon and to get kind of crushed by the weight of all of it. And it tends to bring a lot of stuff out. It tends to bring a lot of stuff up to the surface. And you can really see how it tends to create, in some ways, a bit of polarization between sort of like the yes, no, am I going to succeed with this? Am I not going to succeed with this? Will I make it? Will I not make it? And from everything that I've been hearing about with the last year, it seems like we have a fair bit of consensus that 2017 was a doozy of a year for a lot of people. It was just absolutely wild. So the good news is that we are now entering into an 11 year. And 11 corresponds with the Justice card in the tarot deck. And Justice is all about balance. Now, the scales of justice, they do have a tendency to swing, especially when we are in a state of distress or are in sort of a very strong place of emotional charge. But ultimately, the Justice card is about those scales coming back to balance, coming back to evenness, and about us coming back to the center and our wisdom and our truth. Now, the Justice card tends to bring with it also accountability and consequence. So some of the stuff that really got stirred up in the last year is going to come home to roost, is going to have an opportunity to sort of settle the score this year and have an opportunity for things to resolve and be reconciled. So I would not be surprised if we have a year where some of the stuff that has been up in our face, that has yet to be held accountable for, is going to be coming into accountability, and that there will be some consequence for actions that aren't so cool. The other thing that I've been really sensing about working with justice this year and with the idea of balance is that in many ways, the opposite of balance is duality. And that in order to come to a place of true balance, we have to stop looking at things as us versus them, black versus white, good versus evil, Republican versus Democrat, male versus female, and instead work towards seeing where there's commonality, work towards seeing where there's common ground, work towards perceiving things from a heart of love as opposed to from our ego's desire to judge things and look at stuff as either my side versus your side. So I think that a big piece of the work this year is going to be about not reacting. It's going to be about not getting over on one side of the scale or the other side of the scale and sort of staying in the place where things can be swinging wildly, but really coming more to center and finding our way back to being balanced, being grounded, and seeing things from multiple perspectives so that we're not necessarily so caught up in right versus wrong and just all of the indignation that I've been witnessing this year. So my question to you right now is, what needs to settle in your life? What are the things that maybe the scales have been swinging wildly? And what might you need to shift? What might you need to adjust in order to find your way back to center, in order to find your way back to more balance? So I would love to hear what you have to say about all of this. Please leave a comment below. And until next word of the day, I am wishing you peace. I am wishing you ease. And I am wishing you truly a gentler, kinder, easier, more loving, more peaceful 2018. So, in the meantime, please go like my Facebook page if you haven't already done it, Modern Medicine Lady. And if you have, then please invite your friends to like my page. And until tomorrow, I'm wishing you